Enjoy that. That's how that went. Spoilers, everyone. Battlestar Galactica, which I'm probably cutting out anyway. Spoiler, Janet. Sorry. Was an ancient alien theory show.
Oh, really? At the end, it's like the pyramids were built by aliens.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes. It turns out that the humans that we're talking about aren't Earthlings, but they crash land after I think the final ship like blows up on Earth and are the progenitors or bears of humanity. It's why there's not a missing link found. One of them is like they're all named after gods and shit, and that's where like everyone's religion comes from.
Starbuck.
They were the chariots in the sky, man.
Yeah. A little bit of Roger Zelazny in there.
Oh, Daniken was right. You heard it here, folks. Came straight from the stars. That's why our primary god is Starbuck. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
I am Roger Norquist. And this week we are joined by Chris and Tyler, filmmakers with Dockside Media, and they have a new documentary coming out called In Plain Sight, and I will let them say hello now. Say hello, Chris and Tyler.
Hello. This is Chris.
Hello, Roger, Jordan, Nate. Hey, great to be here. And for anybody that's searching for this documentary, when it drops on October 18th on Amazon, Apple TV, iTunes, Google Play, PlayStation, and Microsoft, you're going to look for In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community, and UFOs. That is the full title of the documentary that we're dropping.
There you
and
go.
That Roger was, I believe, privileged enough to see an advanced screener of.
Oh, yeah, and it is phenomenally made. The B-roll is fantastic. The angles of everyone talking are engaging. I don't want to ruin too much. You talk to John Ramirez, Richard Doty in this one, and it is heavily about the intelligence community and their involvement in various ways with what happened in the mid 1900s and on in America and a little bit elsewhere.
Yeah, the movie goes places that's really interesting. And I mean, we don't have to dive into it too much yet, but when I started editing it, I was because I wasn't there for all the interviews, so I wasn't quite sure how this thing was going to come together. And then lots of people telling very similar stories throughout this one. And tons of Roswell talk, which I wasn't expecting either.
It's something
it was interesting how that came up.
Go on.
Just some of the Roswell stuff. And even it was just very like serendipitous. It was very, maybe divine intervention, destiny, how we even got Tom Carey. He's one of the people we interviewed as well. And he's this expert and author on Roswell. He's written, I believe, 20 books at this point, I believe, or 12. I can't remember the exact number. I need to double check that. But Witness to Roswell, which is the 75th anniversary edition, just came out. And it was great. Like we were actually we were getting him for the interview for this documentary, In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community of UFOs. And we were finishing a documentary, Secrets of the Sasquatch. And for that, as we got all the footage for that, I was telling Chris, I'm like, man, do we really, really need like an academic, an anthropologist, somebody degreed, right, who can speak on Sasquatch and Bigfoot? And so it was sick, bro. When we interviewed Tom Carey for In Plain Sight, it comes up that he's an anthropologist, right, and all this stuff, and a doctor. I'm like, bro, we finished the interview for In Plain Sight. I'm like, yo, can you throw on a different shirt and go on this chair on the other side of the room? We'll switch everything around, cameras, and speak on Sasquatch. And he did it, and it was so sick, dude, because we needed that type of interview for, I don't know, like a month or two. We had all the other footage for Secrets of the Sasquatch, and then sure enough, Tom Carey just drops it on us. So
and that's how the sausage
is made a little bit. What's that?
That's how the sausage is made a little bit. New shirts, different angles.
Yep. Put a hat on him that says Sasquatch researchers do it in a nest in the forest.
Exactly, man.
You guys should make one. It sounds like you know how to do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We're,
You got to strike
we're,
while the iron's
we're
hot.
kind of starting an OnlyFans.
Okay,
All
that's
about
one way to
that,
go.
so.
Yeah,
Okay,
paranormal
That
only
is
fans.
true.
We feel there's a market for it based on
Yeah.
the
We gotta
based
pay-
on the Mothman
nice.
sexiness. I think there's a
Yeah.
market for it.
Mhm.
Hands
We
down.
gotta pay.
Those-
We gotta pay the bills around here somehow. There, we are gonna talk with you fellas about some UFO encounters
Yes.
that Roger and Nate have cooked up. But speaking of paying the bills, today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco brand Reodorant. Have you lost your natural musk by integrating too deeply with the machinery of society? Get it back with Monstroco Reodorant. Reclaim your natural pheromones with this gentle blend of controversial smells. Reodorant from Monstroco. Grab the funk.
Dude, that's some Liver King shit right there. I'm all about that. I stopped wearing deodorant since I saw the Liver King speak at the Livernarium, and it was
Yeah.
quite a thing. He doesn't wear any deodorant. I hear that when you're in the same room as him, you can smell which direction he's from. Like, it's very powerful.
Wait, who's the liver?
But is it
king?
bad?
It's not offensive though. Like, it's strong, but like no one's like disgusted by it. But it definitely is described as BO.
But
Who is the
But it's not
Liver
like
King?
cottage cheese and a jockstrap kind of.
Yeah, no,
deal.
it's not like that. The Liver King,
Okay.
Jordan, is the man who says liver is king. Google liver is king, and the Liver King will show up. He sells supplements of organs
I
and
don't
marrow.
want that.
He
I
only
don't
eats
need any
meat.
of that.
You're going to find yourself an employee of Monstroco.
He never
who's
wears
in
a
No,
shirt.
the
major
algorithm's been
chaos.
feeding him across my social media feeds anyways for like the past 6 months to a year.
Jordan, I don't
think
know
most
how
people
you're
are
free of
familiar with
him, but you need to
Yeah.
get in
Ah.
in on it.
It doesn't sound like I need his assistance because I'm going to be using Monstroco brand Reodorant to grab the funk.
All right, Nate, do you want to go? And then I will play the clips I have of Philip Schneider.
Yeah, sure. So I was wondering if there were any like specifically Mexican alien sightings recently.
Because of the volcano.
And-
It's always
Yeah.
popping them out. I forgot what it's called though. Type in UFO
It's-
Mexican volcano and you will find a plethora of UFO videos of UFOs flying in and out of this volcano.
Yes, and this is not related specifically to the volcano, but it is about an underwater alien base that has been protecting
Nice.
one city from hurricanes for over 50 years.
Well, now volcanoes can be underwater. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, but is that a volcano or is it an alien base that's made to look like a volcano? Is this
You're
a
right. Technically, it's an aquacano.
I call it the new Hawaiian island.
Ah, yes. Did you see that picture of that new island that got born? Did you?
No.
It was weirdly scary. You can like see it go down to the bottom of the ocean. It gave me the whale fear.
Ooh. Share that link in our Discord if you can find it again, Jordan. That
Sure.
sounds horrifying and
Yeah,
beautiful.
that
Okay.
does. Beautifully
I'm sure if we,
horrifying.
yeah, I'm sure if we just Google New Island,
Nate,
there
what?
can't
Let
be
me get
too many.
back
of
to
them.
your UFO Mexican. Was the question, or is anybody familiar with any UFO Mexican set? I'm not familiar with any.
Oh yeah,
As
no.
Well, I mean, and that's why I was looking it up. I was like, I haven't heard about any like insane sighting spots in Mexico, but apparently there is one, and it's been going on for years.
Oh.
It's in Tampico is the area.
I love their bunch.
It's one of the best if you're 7 years old.
Mhm.
Which we
This
all
is an-
are eternally.
Yep. This is an article from this is July of 2020 from The Guardian. As communities on Mexico's Gulf Coast brace themselves for what is predicted to be a grueling hurricane season, and it turned out to be, a group of stargazers in the northeastern state of Tamaulipas are confident that a unique form of disaster preparation will keep their city safe. Members of the Association of Scientific UFO Research of Tamaulipas, or ICOT, believe that an interdimensional underwater base of extraterrestrial origin has protected the coastal cities of Ciudad Madero and Tampico from hurricanes for more than 50 years. ICOT's
Very
president
nice.
ICOT's president Juan Carlos Ramon Lopez Diaz claims to have visited the base known as Amupac via astral projection.
Oh, wow.
Which he says he induced through meditation and a pescatarian diet.
Holy shit. Who is this guy who says that he's done this?
Juan
The
Carlos Ramon
fishmonger.
Lopez Diaz.
But he's like an elected official, right?
Well, he's the president of this association.
Oh,
Which
I
is an
see.
elected official.
I don't know
Yes.
that it's elected. They may have
I thought it was like the mayor of this town who was like, it is a space base. I've been there many times. It rules. They have a pinball machine.
Well, to be fair, over the years, several mayors have actually talked about this
Perfect.
being the reason that hurricanes will divert.
Interesting.
Like a force field. Like they come that way and then bounce the other way.
Yeah, so here's a quote. It's also recommendable to ascend ancestral constructions like temples and pyramids that have stairs at a 45-degree angle, he says. That helps with the meditation to get yourself to Amupac.
Ah, I see.
Angles are everything.
He also says that hills sloping at such a gradient will also do if one doesn't live near pre-Columbian ruins.
Okay. I don't. That's nice that he included that.
Ciudad Madero suffered 4 direct landfalls in the 20th century, including Hurricane Inez in '66, which killed 74 people in Mexico. Inez was also followed up by a hurricane, I think like 2 weeks later or something. And I think it ended up killing 300 people and putting like 20,000 people out of their homes. It was underwater for quite some time. Huge
Wow.
disaster.
Wow.
And the next year, they believe a alien base was established right off the coast.
I was gonna say this alien base we're gonna learn about hasn't been doing a lot, but it wasn't
I was going
around.
to say just a year too late.
And it's right off the coast. Why have they gone down and looked for it?
I suppose
Or does no one thought of that
I
yet?
think it's like 35 kilometers away or something like that.
I'll crunch those numbers when I figure out how many miles that is.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm absolutely open to like UFOs and extraterrestrials diverting hurricanes. And man, like, here's what's up, man. I'm like driving my car today and I'm trying to like turn on the early football game. And I'm like on AM radio, right? And you're like scanning AM channels. And it's like once in a while, one will come through. But bro, so that means all around me, there's these radio waves, right? I can't see them physically. My body's not tuned to hear them, but they're all there, all of them.
Sure.
And
You're
so
swimming in the ether.
I am, bro. So same deal. It's like, well, dog, AM, FM radios, there's gamma rays, there's all this stuff that's like around us that we just can't see. So when we have the technology to like harness quantum entanglement and spooky action at a distance, yeah, bro, we can probably manipulate all the electrons or atoms, right? Like simultaneously here and in this, and get the counter result in another place. And yeah, do whatever we want. And so I think the question is, it's like, well, I'm 37, Chris is 37. So we've gone from Pong to PS5. right? And so in another, 37 years, like where are we at? So just it's a matter of time. So another 1,000 years? Well, shoot, dude. I feel like if we don't, extinct or like do something to like just wipe out our species, well, man, we're probably going to be doing some far out stuff because, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, the five of us having a conversation in good audio quality, right? Good video quality, completely remote in hotel rooms and like all over the US, like this would have been unheard of, right? We would have needed tons of money and capital. And now it's ubiquitous.
It's a subscription fee when you have internet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And also you don't need the quantum theory as well. It could just be like a weird barometric pressure wave it's sending out, something that we're really, really close to.
I'm just wondering why they decided to swoop in at that point and not the year before when there was an actual storm and they needed them.
Bureaucracy, Jordan. Red tape's everywhere.
You think it was delayed? You think it was delayed by red tape?
I do. That's my honest thing to be like, why wasn't it then when they already knew about hurricanes and already wanted to protect the area?
And there's other places that are getting slammed by hurricanes. Give us the technology.
Give Puerto Rico the technology.
Why keep it
Florida probably could
for this one town? Yeah.
The whole Gulf could actually probably
give us the technology for the weather shield.
So not Louisiana. My family knows what they did.
Well, what that means though is it's not about the base making the weather not happen. It's about why they're having the weather stopped. So what's on that island or whatever.
Yeah, undersea, right?
The article immediately goes on to explain.
All right.
Go ahead.
Explanations of exactly how and why the alien visitors are protecting Ciudad Madero vary even among fellow investigators. Lopez believes it's not Amopac itself, but the esoteric power of ICOT members' belief in the base.
Okay.
So we're back to, so it definitely is quantum mechanics now. Never mind, I'm wrong.
And I saw that coming a mile away, but that's why I preface this with no, that's pretty wild. That's crazy.
Tyler vacations there pretty often. I know that. So
he's helping protect.
So Tyler vacations there pretty often. So it's starting to make sense.
The collective mind, quote, the collective mind is charged with this concept, so it generates a large force field of repulsion.
I have one of those with women.
There's also talk of magnetic fields and a series of meter-long bars of an aluminum, iron, and copper alloy secretly buried in the seafloor near Miramar Beach at the suggestion of the visitors over 4 decades ago. So apparently these aliens also told these people, hey, look, if you do this thing, we can use it.
By the time we get back, we want some bars here.
Oh, different kind of bar, but still, this will stop the hurricanes.
Yeah.
Others claim that the aliens are only interested in protecting their base, and Ciudad Madero is just lucky they took a liking to this small corner of the galaxy. The theory fails to explain, however, what a threat a terrestrial weather event might pose to a structure with no form in our physical dimension.
Fair. Maybe it's a matter of, radio waves, like we were talking about. Maybe they need the weather to be a certain way for specific signals to go through.
So it's not even trying to save people, just like we need this to function, and hurricanes are fucking up the function.
Yeah.
And I mean that would sort of be the reason for them putting in a bunch of crazy alloyed bars that create
bars.
Like
a popping bar scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The municipal government placed a bust of a green Martian at Miramar Beach in 2013 and officially dubbed the last Tuesday in October the Day of the Martian.
Dude, they have fun.
The bust was promptly stolen.
You fucking animals.
Yeah, because the party scene's so fun.
Unreal. Grab him, man. He's coming with us, dude. Fuckers. This is why we can't have nice things, you guys.
Did you say it was the last weekend of October? It's coming up
The
soon.
last Tuesday in
Oh, well, there
October.
you
Yeah.
go.
There we
All
go.
right, this year, what day? Sorry.
Last Tuesday.
Oh, the
Martian
25th,
Day.
Martian Day.
Jaime
I have a dentist
Maussan.
appointment, Martian Day.
Oh no.
Wow.
You
I
thought you
hope
had
you-
one. We'll
Goodness.
see what happens.
Yep.
Someone's
Could get
gonna
a
steal your
hurricane pushed
teeth.
right over your place, bro. The weather got to
Yeah.
go somewhere. If they're redirect, it's got to go somewhere, bro.
Usually you wake up with more teeth.
Jaime Maussan, Mexico's leading chronicler of UFO sightings and other supernatural events, allowed that southern Tamaulipas was a hotbed of extra mundane activity, but said he and his team of researchers were previously unaware of Amupak. He did, however, remark that the theory was curious. Dr. Rosario Romero, a climate scientist at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, agreed that Ciudad Madero's streak of hurricane-free weather was interesting, but not inexplicable. She said that Tamaulipas is more likely to see less intense tropical storms, while broader atmospheric conditions such as subtropical high-pressure systems and prevailing westerly winds tend to push major hurricanes north toward the southern coast of the United States.
Okay. Okay,
Probably
okay.
for all of our sinning.
But it's so
Got
fun,
it, yeah.
Nate.
Furthermore, although Ciudad Madero has not been struck directly by a hurricane since '66, it has not escaped damage from others that made landfall elsewhere. In 2013, Hurricane Ingrid did cause some flooding that they ended up having to deal with. But
Ingrid.
Wait,
there have been numerous hurricanes that have been heading directly toward this town that
And they just
since
kinda-
1966 have just moved.
Wow. Wow. That is really strange. I mean,
And there is UFO activity. Like I was watching a video of a bunch of people who were interviewing mostly fishermen and like people who own places on the beach. And like they've seen crazy lights. The fishermen almost to a one are like, we don't talk about it. Please go away.
now, now what would you say was the coot quotient in these people that they interviewed?
It's 120%.
120% coot quotient.
Yes.
Coots to the last.
Coochment was high.
I live down by the water. I watch the sky. Okay, you'll do.
Yeah, there was even like one guy whose thing was like, I don't know, I just dig holes here.
I just dig holes here.
I don't look up at the sky. I'm a hole digger.
Wow, I'm not a stargazer. I'm a hole
From Stray Dog
watcher.
or something, actually. That's what-
Yeah.
I think it was just a bad translation, but something to that effect. And he appeared to
Yeah.
be a man who maybe just digs holes.
A man who digs holes in the area. Sure.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be abreast. You got to be abreast of the alien situation if you're going to dig a hole in an area. So
'Cause it's not like the holes are going to dig themselves either. So
Right.
Yeah.
exactly.
You'd be surprised what needs a
Exactly.
hole too. Fences.
I thought you were going to be like,
Holes.
you'd be surprised. Holes will dig themselves sometime.
there is a
I mean,
I guess a
erosion's
teaser
real.
for the show La Brea, to where my
Okay.
favorite line from it is "More sinkholes are coming."
that show
Bummer.
Didn't that get canceled after like 25 seconds?
No, it's the season 2, man. The sinkholes are coming. Do you think I'm lying
Really?
to you?
Oh,
No.
it sank faster than a saber-toothed cat struggling.
Which is part of season 2. You know about it, Jordan.
Ah, sure.
Go on, Nate.
I mean, that's kind of where it goes. There's not a ton of more information. There are a lot of videos you can see of people talking about how they've seen some stuff, but don't want to mention it, which is kind of the reason that I think that they probably saw something.
Yeah. Interesting.
Like
I
that
mean,
whole
that is,
an entire culture of people going, just don't mention it. Fucking
but also like, yeah,
do the fishing.
But also,
don't worry about it.
Also the numbers alone are like that's weird. It's not like this place has never been hit by a hurricane, but the fact that it has avoided serious damage in that amount of time is
1966 was the last time they actually got hit by a hurricane.
And you can tell, well, that's kind of like that's a reaction of a lot of people who just don't want to talk about it. Like just don't question it. It's good for us. Don't question it or it'll go away.
Yeah,
Bring
there
back
are
the
a ton
Martian
of videos.
bust.
There are a ton of videos from this place.
Interesting.
So Google it, Pingos. Check it out.
Google it.
And then if you're done, Nate, I'm going to take the talking skull because we're at war, motherfuckers.
Oh, have the
Oh,
skull,
God,
my
again?
friend.
Again, Jordan.
Christmas, or what are we fighting now?
So let's go into
Christmas
it.
must,
I was looking
it's a war on Christmas, but this time we're on the other side. Christmas must be taken down.
All right. So I was looking for scary alien encounters, and I think one of the scariest is the time that an American engineer by the name of Philip Schneider took part of an alien battle under Dulce base in New Mexico.
Dang. That is fucked up.
This right now is from journalnews.com and is titled Gray Aliens Killed 60 U.S. Soldiers and Civilians in Underground Battle in New Mexico. It was written by
we should
People's
know
Tonight.
about this.
Say that, Nate?
It seems like we should have heard about this.
Oh, I'm sure you had. Philip Schneider's been seen on a number of documentaries. American engineer Philip Schneider was born on April 23rd, 1947. He is known as a person who worked for many years in collaboration with special services of the United States and had access to third-level secrecy, but at some point decided that people should know that they are kept in ignorance and grossly deceived by everything happening to UFOs and aliens.
I thought this was the guy from
ignorance
the B-52.
second level secrecy.
So let's go into it. I have his lecture he gave in 1995 queued up. Let me make sure I share sound. There we go. And I'll just let it play and you tell me
I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos.
Dude looks like a coach.
Yeah, he's got the most coach energy of all time.
He's a gym teacher,
Yeah.
or something.
I have a problem with his eyebrows.
On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes.
And this also happened in 1979. I apologize. I forgot to say that.
Wow.
Them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down. We wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, when I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. The large alien.
Can you imagine him seeing all that and going like, oh, I know what's up here.
Well, the jig is up.
He goes to the nearest Green Beret and he's like, jig's up, sir.
This
I'm
particular
Coach
guy.
Schneider.
I can definitely imagine this guy doing that.
Rays had been encamped there for as best as believed possible about 400 or 500 years. To been one of their internal bases, and we drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up. And Well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really. All started.
Whoa.
Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. In this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot tall.
What's she do?
If you
From
know
here to this
lecture-
ugly old lady in the front row here.
No. Next to her, the uglier one. Uglier.
If you know this lecture, he mentions her about 3 to 4 times throughout a 30-minute or like
Hilarious.
40-minute lecture.
Wow, what's that
Is he just-
about?
Is he
No one
turning-
knows.
is
He's
he
dead. We'll
snitching
go
on her?
into it.
Hmm.
He did. If you're familiar with the story of Paul Schneider, he goes on a number of lectures and says that all of the story that we're hearing is something he experienced, but also because he's being vocal about it, that FBI have shot at him and he shot FBI
Whoa.
agents. One
Whoa.
story involves his wife finding that someone was taking their child. So she put a
What?
magnum behind his head and said, "Give me the child or you lose your head."
Whoa.
And got the child back. And no police reports have ever been filed about this. It's just a badass story
Holy
he has about
shit.
his ex-wife. Sorry.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, you got to get out of that situation.
But he's
if you're
been
one.
a supposed assassination attempts on his life for a number of years while he goes vocal with this information.
Wow.
Wait, he claims that there's been assassination attempts, or has there actually been like documented assassination attempts?
See, that's the thing. So there hasn't been true
'Cause-
documentation of these attempts.
The dude could
And-
be teaching the gym class playing dodgeball. A ball goes at him, and he's like, "That's the fucking government coming
It's the
at me."
FBI.
This kid was a sleeper agent.
Exactly. So yeah, I want the documented like incidences.
One time, and there's not a lot, one time he said that he was shot by someone who claimed to be
Wow.
an FBI agent, and then he went to snitch on the FBI agent to the FBI, and they said, "That's just how it works sometimes, sir." And to be fair,
Why would you do that?
and to be
Hey,
fair,
listen,
sometimes the FBI
when we're
murders.
out
You know, that's something they've
FBIing
known to do.
around, you're gonna get winged. All right, that's just the way it is.
Let's go on to
Funny.
his actual alien encounter. He is being descended
Okay.
into one of the tunnels they're digging at Dulce base, Los Alamos.
The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The worst garbage can. The stench was sitting a 7-foot tall.
Smells worse than that
alien
lady
ray.
sitting up front.
The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person was, the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time to reach for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the seams
You know, he's one of those murder geologists.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
and
an
doesn't have
engineer
time
and
for
geologist.
folderol.
And you get a gun when you work for the military, and he was going to use it. He just
Sure.
saw a creature he thought was ugly. Now, here's the story. He saw a creature that he thought was ugly and smelled bad, and his first reaction was to shoot it.
I was gonna kill it. I was gonna kill it right there.
He's
and
an American
for
after all.
offending my sensibilities. Mhm.
Very true.
perimeter
Go
and inner
Yosemite
perimeter.
Sam all over this motherfucker.
30 people carried. I carried a little Walter PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This is an odd.
And he has a James Bond gun.
Now,
Right.
you got a regular suit of clothes. You got a regular clothes on, plus you're in a almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting.
I
And I killed
I
two
keep
of them.
picturing him
That's their
doing it in
model, and
slow
they-
motion like he's on the moon and everything has no gravity.
Yeah.
when you get underground, scientists do use caves and shit and the desert to simulate alien habitats. So maybe it's the closest thing the aliens had to
Are you trying to sell Nate on there being no gravity underground right now?
I guess I was.
It's not no gravity, it's reverse gravity.
All right, my
God.
bad. I'll stop trying to lie to Nate.
And start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal and they do die.
Good Lord.
Jesus.
Please, we can
Fuck.
kill it.
Process.
Killed 2 of them. I got sausage in the freezer still.
He's one of those guys. He's all like, I do it with roadkill. I do it with aliens. I murder. You eat the flesh. Your soul their soul becomes yours.
You get a piece of their power. Yep.
One of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know,
Don't shoot me, probably.
Just literally opened me up like.
No, the exact opposite. In
Is
fact,
that he just kind of waved his
Shoot
hand
me.
in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. Burnt my fingers right off of me, and
Wow.
do you see that? Just cut his
Yeah.
fingers
Wow.
straight off.
Yeah, wow.
Whoa.
Like a laser surgery thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, if you know of laser cutting tools for pumpkin cutting, hit us up.
Hit us up. We have a lot of capital, but the government is going to take our budget.
Yeah, we've
Horrible
already seen the
electrical
ones you can
torch
use on a
because
mouth. It's
kind of
not
like
good enough.
being hit by a lightning bolt, burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my.
So this guy is claiming that he lost those fingers in an encounter with aliens.
And his gullet was opened up, and he lost all of
Wow.
his toenails, and his legs became
Lord.
crispy critters.
Wow, shit.
Well, I mean, if aliens didn't do it, well, dude, that's some serious commitment to
That's
self-mutilate
right.
yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy, bro. I mean,
Or
that's
that's
nuts.
pretty wild.
to that effect, actually, Tyler, surely there could be some documentation on how he hurt himself so badly.
Hmm.
And if there isn't, it kind of leads a little bit of credence to his story, because like his injuries are extensive and there should be some sort of
Sure.
documentation in the modern era.
Right. If it
You
didn't
would hope
happen
so.
in the
I
way
mean,
he
if you're
says-
if you're just wrapping gauze around them and laying in like your bed for a few days waiting for that stuff to heal
Yeah.
up, dude, I
Tyler,
feel like you're losing a lot more
Walking
than
it
just
off.
Tyler,
your
the
fingers.
dude is a gym teacher. He just walked that shit right off. Like he tells all of his kids to do.
Fair play. Fair play.
Yeah, you just be tough, kids. No goofing around.
Burnt the shoe right off of me.
Oh, Andy lost his shoe.
Smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the bass and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He
What was
lost
his name?
life.
I was about to
Secret
say.
Service agents.
I don't
Seems like you
remember
would
who
know
it was,
that.
though. Yeah, exactly.
Crack troops lost their lives. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious. It's been going on
Wow.
since that time. Since late August of 1979, our military, the Russian
Lord.
military, basically the militaries of the world, have been in constant conflict with the outer space alien. The small
Wow.
gray, large gray,
And
the
this
reptilian.
is 1995.
1995 at the Preparedness Expo.
Right.
Wow.
The precursor to our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Uh,
And for those just listening to this podcast, this gym teacher is actually like listing one by one with his stubby fingers, with a completely straight face. So again, if these facts of this were not, being going on for this long, if they're not true, well, my man, dude, he should, he could take Leonardo DiCaprio's place as the best actor.
Well, I mean, and seriously, there's like even just the simple facts are that if he got hurt in a way contrary to what he's talking about, there would be documentation for that too. So it's the type of thing that if it's a blatant lie, it would be a pretty brazen thing. You'd be able to disprove it. So, I mean, he certainly seems to believe in it.
Maybe
he's the guy who's missing the fingers.
Maybe the aliens have actually just been battling OSHA.
Which is still a war.
The whole thing. There are 11 distinct races of aliens. 2 are benevolent. One had to leave here in a hurry because their world is under attack, both on the surface as well as underground there, the Pleiadians. They're familiar. Maybe some of you are familiar. There was the created 1954 treaty where Eisenhower signed a pact with the known alien species of the time. There were 3 at the time. And said that we're going to deal in high technology, but you can take a few head of cattle and a few human beings and you can experiment on them. It's unthinkable.
Whoa.
Agreed in 1950.
Yeah, so supposedly the Grenada Treaty was between Eisenhower and I believe the Greys that said you will give us technology for obviously fighting the Russians at the time. And then you can have some cattle and humans, kind of explaining cattle mutilations and the large missing numbers we have here in America and other places, to be honest. They're just being picked up for experimentation from the Greys.
Before treaty had been violated. After the great firefight, the alien-human war, I am the only living survivor talking about it worldwide.
Oh, wow.
The only one. The other 2 are in nursing homes in Canada, and the Canadian government refuses to allow any U.S. people, including myself, to talk to them. Because
Trudeau!
I'm going to tell you something a little bit different about the alien speech.
If this guy doesn't end this whole speech with, all right, boys, time to hit the showers, then I'm not going to buy into any of this shit.
He does, and this is the very concise lecture where it's just his encounter.
Gotcha.
But there's a segmented part you can find by just typing in Philip, what's his name? Philip Schneider, 1995 lecture. It's segmented, and the end of it, he starts getting the crowd into a frenzy. He talks about overthrowing the fucking government for secrets.
Whoa, Philip.
He went max coach. He went Super Saiyan coach.
Philip, you need to slow down and drink some water.
Bad news ones. There are 9 races of alien populations. To look at a human being as a bag of food. They're not cannibals. They don't eat the flesh and the bones and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't be cannibals if they're eating a different species.
Yeah.
For fun. You got to try human bones. If I was an alien, or when we become aliens, I would have to be stopped, or else I'm just going to start eating aliens. See what they taste like,
I think When We Become Aliens is my favorite mum record.
Kind of stuff. They use the glandular secretions of animals and human beings as a mixture of the vitamins for their food. They get high off of our adrenal gland substances called adrenal chrome.
I would do some of that.
It's something like cocaine to them.
Oh.
So, and that's it. And
So
I had to look up if
1995
adrenochrome was real. And adrenochrome is a real chemical compound, just not something made up in Fear and Loathing.
Right. No, it's something that Tom Hanks is taking out of children to feed to his satanic Hollywood counterparts.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
cosmic pizza.
It's also this, apparently.
But that is a scary alien encounter that I found, one that has just kind of stuck with me when I saw the interview in multiple documentaries, in that this man, in theory, survived an alien encounter. And as we've discussed, or an alien battle, and as we discussed, if he is lying, surely we would be able to find some medical records on what happened to his body, because his body is significantly mutilated by something over the course of time or in one battle, like what he says happened.
Yeah, I mean, he either stuck his hand down into a garbage disposal and held it there and ran that thing for a couple minutes. Or he had this alien encounter, or I don't know, maybe something else, but it looks gruesome. It's not like he just clipped off, one like tip of a finger. It's like, oh no, dude, this guy would have had to go really crazy on his hands. That's nuts.
And he had a very mysterious death. According to the article that I was reading from, he had a very mysterious death. Here it is. In January.
Something abducted his skeleton.
And on January 17, 1996, Phil Schneider was found dead in his house in Wilsonville, Oregon. He was lying on the floor next to a piano, and a tube from his own catheter was wound around his neck.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Yeah, that sounds like he was murdered.
Now,
that's crazy.
According to the report, Schneider was shot dead by police who came to deal with a large number of unpaid taxes and fines. And during the dialogue, Phil became to behave menacingly, grabbing his weapon, and thus left law enforcement officers with no choice.
The Walter PPK.
Well, how many of those cops were scary aliens in a cave?
Yeah.
And besides the encounter that we just heard, he also said that the bombing of the World Trade Center or the 9/11, although the World Trade Center was bombed a couple of times, if you include all the buildings.
I'm sure that whatever you're about to say, he believes about all of them.
Yes. He said that the World Trade Center collapsing and bombing of the Oklahoma City building were carried out using miniature nuclear devices. Bikini Atoll was destroyed by nuclear weapons due to the fact there was an underwater base of aliens there.
Okay.
Back to UAP or USOs.
But to get a lot of hurricanes where that was at.
Question.
See?
And
it all links together.
He also believes that the Strategic Defense Initiative was actually conceived as a defense against alien invasions.
Okay. I'm on board.
I mean, yeah,
Tracks.
seems strategic.
I have no qualms.
But that is Philip. We're fine with that. And truly, I am as well. That is the story of Philip Schneider and his alien encounter. That is truly a battle between Marines, civilians, and the aliens that he kind of started. It sounds like
did kind of start it.
He started an intergalactic war in a cave. It blew his fingers off. Was it 60 soldiers also died?
60 soldiers and civilians. So there was some of his engineering team and then probably a crew of 30 or so soldiers, I'm going to say.
One of their loved ones has put out a statement or anything in the media saying that my son or my husband or wife.
Memory wipes, bro.
Memory wipes.
MIB shit, Jordan.
Wipes.
But Schneider,
Monstroko brand memory wipes.
Schneider, he can withstand the wipe. The man knows how to not wipe.
It is interesting that, like, you could explain it to where these are guards and whatever for a secret base, and maybe they chose like young or orphaned or some sort of soldiers without a lot of connections to any family or friends that would be selected. But then why have Philip Schneider, who has an ex-wife and kid, on this team. Surely you would keep it all like that. So that is a little bit fishy for sure.
Well, he
That's a
was
good
supposed
point.
to die in the attack.
Yeah, but then his family would go like, "Why is my husband dead?"
No,
I'm
no,
at least
saying he
gonna
got the wife
file a report.
afterward. Like maybe he was a young orphan too.
Yeah, but everyone.
Sure.
Damn
They're
it,
all
Nate!
orphans.
Your devil advocacy is making me flounder. But there we go. The story of Philip Schneider and his alien conflict that he started. I think we're putting the blame on him. If
The
the
most
aliens
interesting
come,
thing of his story is his death. Honestly,
Yeah, truly.
Yeah,
Very
it is
strange.
weird.
it's one
I
of
did
the
not see the
things that
catheter
really,
part coming.
yeah. And
Yeah.
he said
Yeah,
that
that was a
people were
twist.
coming after him.
No pun intended.
and the weird police report. But that's it for me. Jordan, lead us out.
Guys, that does it for another episode of Werewolf Radar. Thank you so much to our guests for joining us. Fellas, where can they find you on the internet?
Head Tyler.
So absolutely, again, Tyler Transu and Chris Rupert with Dockside Media. You can find us at our website, www.docksidemedia.com, on Instagram, TikTok. What else am I missing?
Facebook.
Instagram, Well, the ones are at Dockside Media, which is DOCSIDEMEDIA. And then we're also on Facebook as well, and highly engaging. So we'd love to hear from any of your listeners and fans, because we always put call outs for like camp outs at haunted cemeteries, or looking for Sasquatch, or whatever crazy dope stuff we're doing to make these dope documentaries, like In Plain Sight, the intelligence community and UFOs. We engage our community and fans, and that's how we've been making these sick docs.
And that's available on the 18th, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
The 18th.
So check that out.
October
Amazon,
18th.
Amazon, PlayStation, Google, pretty much everywhere. If you
All of
Google
that
In Plain
shit.
Sight, you'll probably find it coming up on the 18th. So get ready for that. And also do the same with us. Hit us up on Twitter, engage with us like a lot of you have been, and check out our Discord, which you can find on our Twitter as well.
Yeah.
We have a story to go over next week that was provided by Pingo, who hit us up on our Discord, and it is one of the most goosebump-inducing stories I've read as of late. So we'll go over that next
They
week.
will be goosed.
Thank you for doing that. And now I guess on the count of three, our sign-off line. Jordan, would you like to
Yeah, this is
instruct?
our super secret sign-off line. Nobody tell anybody this when you leave here, but we're going to say punch the sky, Spaceman Joe, on the count of three. So 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky!
Spaceman Joe.
Spaceman.
Check us out at patreon.com/werewolf radar.